council to order. It is 7:03. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, our president's on vacation today, so I'm going to try to fill in. Call roll, please.
Sturron?
Here.
Clark?
Here.
Conan?
Here.
Bullock?
Here.
Ballard?
Here.
Audie?
Here.
Cooper is absent.
Okay, approve the agenda. Is there any additions or corrections to tonight's agenda?
Mr. President, I'd like to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll support. All in favor?
Who was that? Ballard, Audie? Ballard, Clark? All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Administrative reports. Do we have any administrative reports? Whoop. Citizens comment. I'm sorry.
Hi, Bill. Good evening, everybody. My name is Phil Kraft. I'm from Congresswoman Candace Miller's office. I just wanted to come and introduce myself. I'm kind of her regional representative in Macomb and St. Clair counties, so I just wanted to come and say hello. And to let you guys know that if you or the citizens of Armada ever need anything from our office, have any federal issues, or have trouble dealing with any federal agencies or anything like that, to give us a call. Our phone number is 586. I'm drawing a blank. I don't call our phone number, 586-997-5010, and we're located in Shelby Township. And also our website is candacemiller.house.gov, and if anybody would like to get any updates on what she's doing and what's going on in Washington, we do an e-newsletter, and you can sign up for that from the website as well. So thank you for allowing me to speak tonight.
Okay. We have no presentations. How about administrative reports?
We have the building department report, which everybody has. In their packet.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you
Oh, I
don't?
thought you were reading building department.
No, I don't read the bill.
Yeah.
Okay, I have an update that all the treasurers, the tax warrants and everything are all done, signed. Dave actually signed in Sherry's absence as pro temp for the supervisor's warrants. And given the confusion that we had with the changeover at the township office with the assessor and the treasurers moving up to the .NET system on the tax roll, his downloads weren't compatible with my old pervasive engine. So it took some manipulation and some in-depth conversations with BSNA to try to get things to work and get the information in. They are not exactly compatible systems. We're finding some quirks. It doesn't pull history, a number of things. I did need to get help in for the first time in 20 years to get the bills printed stuff. I take that back. Becky has helped me with that. Don't want to short Becky's credits. But being that we were so tight to the deadline this time, I did need to bring someone in over the weekend. And so I did. Everything got stuffed, folded, sorted, stacked, out to escrow companies, all on time. But I'm looking for a and I have my department head authorization is to make the expenditure, but I'm looking for recommendations on how much to pay that person. I can't say, well, last time I used one, because I've never used somebody to help
So,
me.
say you want,
I want a recommendation from council on, it was for 5 hours, so it's not like it's a week's pay or anything, it's only for 5 hours. And I just want a recommendation on what to pay the individual for helping
Was this during the week or was it on a weekend or?
the weekend.
Weekend?
Yep, she came in on Saturday morning and helped me.
and that was Becky that came in?
No, but he was, I think, actually in Chicago that weekend.
So you had somebody come in.
I would sort of recommend about $12, and that only come to, you say 5 hours, that's $60. And I think that's, you know, if it is on the weekend somewhat too, I mean, that compensates, I think,
Okay.
and takes care of it myself, I feel.
Is that a motion, Mr. Wallach?
I would make
You
it-
don't need a vote motion, I can actually make the.
Yeah.
It's under Joe's.
Right,
Okay.
I'm just looking, I don't wanna pay her $100 an hour and everybody say, wow, what'd you do that for?
Yeah,
You
because
know?
I want that job. They're paying $100 an hour.
Are there any, does anybody else
Does that sound fair to
want to
everybody?
weigh in on that? Does that sound fair to you guys?
12 sounds fair.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Now,
Appreciate it.
what's TriStar?
Oh, TriStar is the company that bought out our cell tower lease this last time, and they make annual payments. What they wanna do is just make annual deposits into the bank, and I won't know about them until the bank statement comes. So I filled out the paper, sent it back to them and said, no, I want an actual check. So
Yeah, I think that,
that was just an FYI for you, so that you knew that that was there.
Chief, did you have something for the police department
I'm
here?
not ready to write what he's got to say. I'm not caught up yet.
Well, I've got a
Somebody else.
couple things, but once I heard this young gentleman talk, I need to talk to his office about some rural grant information, but,
Okay, well then you can talk to us some other time.
no, I've got plenty more for you.
Okay.
I'm teasing. I'm just-
And probably first and foremost, Enbridge Oil, and I'm sure that all of us that are living out here have got, you know, plenty of awareness about what Enbridge Oil is doing out on North Avenue and K-Pac. North Avenue Road and K-Pac Road. They were having difficulty, they were looking for traffic enforcement during their construction sites. They had talked to the state police wouldn't commit to it due to staffing issues. They had talked to the county sheriff wouldn't do it because they didn't want any blurred lines as towards why the county can come out and do that, but the county can't, you know, police the township on a regular basis. They talked to us about doing it, and I said if we had the authority to do it, that I could find a way to bill you for, you know, time and resources to go out there and do that. Talked to the Armada Township Board. The Armada Township Board talked to their attorney. They drafted a resolution authorizing us to go on a very limited basis to go and do traffic enforcement out in Armada Township in those two construction sites. Those bills would be paid by Enbridge Oil. There would be no cost to the village residents. There would be no cost to the township residents. Met with the board after the resolution was drawn. Every board member was there except for Trustee Lemieux. But Trustee Lemieux did send his proxy, and with that proxy, they voted unanimously for us to go out. I have tendered a contract bid, which would more than sufficiently cover for our time to be out there, including not just the officers' time, but the resources and everything else. And again, none of this comes back and costs the village residents anything or the township residents anything. With that all said, I have yet to spend an hour out there. Nobody from Enbridge has scheduled the time, even though I just spent about 5 minutes waiting for a flagger to let me go through. So that is one of the things that I wanted to bring to the board. The other thing I brought to the board once before about wanting to get a vehicle that was usable for a canine unit to put bullet in a vehicle that was appropriate and something that would give us some versatility. I found one of those. We do have. Is that what the 600? Oh, I haven't given you the 600 yet, have I? So I've got about $9,000, $9,500 in there. Any cost that would be involved with this is from drug forfeiture proceeds. It does not come out of the budget. Again, it will not cost the residents anything. We're going to use money that we have forfeited and forfeiture money that we've received back from, from the prosecution of drugs in the area. So if that vehicle is still available, my intent is, I think it was $6,000, wasn't it, Mark?
Yes.
We're trying to, we've been using Sterling Heights Dodge. They're the ones that have the vehicle. They have the vehicle listed at $9,000. We're talking about trying to get it for $6,000 or less. That will still give us ample money to outfit the car, letter the car, including the lettering that identifies that it's being paid for with drug forfeiture proceeds, not tax dollars. So, and then the only other thing that I have for the board is, and I don't know, I haven't verified it yet. It sounds like the county may not be coming out to assist with the fair. Certainly not to the degree that they've participated with the fair before. But I don't really see that as much of an issue. You know, we pretty much take care of that as it stands now anyhow. So that's my report.
Chief, I know the drug, and I know everybody doesn't know this, that the drug forfeiture money has to be spent on drug-related.
It has to be spent on the combating of drugs.
Right.
So
do we have a time frame to spend it? Because I know we've been collecting it for a while.
Well, most departments turn it over relatively quickly, almost annually. It just takes us a long time to get enough money in the account to do something,
Okay.
you know, reasonable with it.
Okay.
Chief, one question on the Enbridge policing, if you will. Will there still be an officer in the community?
Yes, that has nothing to do with the officer in the community. That is totally paid for by Enbridge and will not slight the village at all. We'll always have an officer in the village.
Okay. Is there anything else, Chief?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Do you need anything for us to go on that? Does anybody oppose what the chief is trying to do with the drug money? Sounds great.
Okay.
Okay, is there any liaison reports? Well, I have one. This has to do with our clerk. I'd like to read this letter to you from the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks. The Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks is an organization that promotes and educates Michigan's clerks. Through our Certified Michigan Municipal Clerk Certification Program, clerks are recognized for their knowledge of the multifaceted clerk's profession. We are pleased to announce that your clerk, Michelle Polis, has met the program criteria and has attained the prestigious CMMC certification. Michelle's commitment to education and desire to attain certification clearly defines commitment to the clerk's profession in your community. On behalf of the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks Board of Directors, I ask that you join us congratulating Michelle Polis for this accomplishment and well-deserved recognition. Sincerely, Chris Swope, CMMC, MAMAC President. So, congratulations. Now, this is the, I think the same thing that our township clerk went through. Mary was in the paper here a couple weeks ago, and hopefully we'll do that again.
Kate did that, she did a very
Did I
nice
be in the
article.
paper on Wednesday?
Very good.
It was, yeah,
And it already run.
Oh,
it
did
already
it
run.
run?
You're right. Oh my god, I just picked it up
Kate did a
today.
very good, nice
I don't even know
article.
when my articles are running.
Yeah,
So-
Mary and I did that class, those classes together,
So, congratulations.
thank you.
Can I get, is there any, can I get an approval for the consent agenda?
Mr. President, I'll move the consent agenda be accepted as presented.
Supported by Mr. Malak. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have no old business to discuss. Under new business, memorandum of understanding between the village and township for the CDBG project.
Okay, that's my agenda item. I apologize, I did not put an agenda statement with that, and I don't have one prepared, but this is what, the same agreement that we put together to do the senior center projects. What this is for the fire department purchases that we approved with our CDBG money for them to purchase the equipment. So all I'm looking for is a motion to approve the agreement as presented. Is that all we need, Joe?
And to authorize President Clerk to sign it.
Okay.
Do we want the president or can Dave sign?
I think Dave could
Yeah, Dave
probably,
can sign.
yeah, he could
In her
sign in
absence,
her
okay.
absence, yeah.
You can still say president there.
Sure.
Well, Sherry might be back tomorrow. I don't know when she's back.
Yeah, I don't know either, so. But that's all I'm looking for.
I'll make the motion, that the one that you stated. Is that
Okay, yep.
I'll support.
Motion by
Stewart.
Stewart,
Ballard.
supported by Ballard. All in favor of the motion? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So this will then go to the township meeting, just like the last one did for their approval at their next meeting. So,
Okay. Mike, you got something to tell us on the secondary fluid pump?
Yes, sir. We talked about this before. There's 3 pumps in the pit. One of them's been down for over a year. Wasn't a big deal, but the DEQ does want it fixed. Chuck gave you a synopsis of what he's done. He was not able to maintain to acquire 3 bids because nobody else can really bid it. We've had this problem before when you get into specific equipment. So it would be my recommendation to use this ABS submersible pump, give it a shot. If it works, maybe we can use it in other applications within the sewer system. It is cheaper than the Kennedy Industry one. If you've read Chuck's description, I think you'll get everything. I don't really want to repeat too much and bore you guys. Are there any questions?
What's the warranty or the service agreement again on it?
I do believe he said it was a 5-year.
Okay.
Somewhere I read 5-year.
I was just looking through, I couldn't find it.
And I don't know what Kennedy was gonna get. What does it say? Somewhere I read 5-year today,
Okay.
but I don't like to be wrong.
Yeah, I'm reading 5-year limited warranty.
Where did you see that? Okay.
The last page, last paragraph.
Oh, from Chuck. Yeah, 5-year limited warranty. It's a new kind of impeller, so we want to give it a shot because we have that same problem at the lift station where they just don't have the right thing on the bottom to pump it without getting stuff stuck in there. We had a problem before with the lift station backing up. So I think it'd be worth a shot to try one of these new pumps.
Is this the sluicer pump that we're gonna be putting in
That's over my head, I'm not
here?
like.
No, I mean, no, I know, the make of the pump, I'm sorry.
It was an ABS pump, ABS model XFP100E.
Yeah,
With the
that's,
Suze, yeah, that's it, XFP100E.
because I'm seeing in the specifications here that this is approved for water. Okay?
Okay,
Your head, your fluid is water. And here, we have more than water that goes, that's a sanitary lift station, isn't it?
yes, sir.
And they did take that into consideration when they did this, correct?
I would assume,
Okay.
because it was even presented to them that this one would help with the light solids. I can confirm that, and if there's a problem, I'll pull it off, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Mike, if you look at the letter,
Yeah?
it says, you mentioned on the phone that your Flint models are giving you problems with clogging. ABS has solved the issues of clogging with this new impeller design. So it sounds like they've addressed the
Right.
clogging problem.
Right, right. I would imagine that this was all discussed, I'm sure they had to have gone there and looked at it because they were there for another purpose. But just with that being said, Jeff, the flood pumps in the basement of the sewer plant are running fine, these are the ones at the lift station. Because we have 3 other flake pumps that are working good, I don't want to give the public the wrong impression.
No, but this, the ABS does
Right.
seem to work in that application.
Yeah, so it should be good. Where did my motion go? I suppose I'll make it, since
Here.
it's mine. I got it. Make a motion to approve the purchase of an insert pump. Oop. Make a motion to approve the purchase of, what kind of pump is it? ABS model XFP100E CD1PE75/4 from Hydrodynamics for the Armada wastewater treatment plant in an amount not to exceed, I just want to double check my number, 6,000, did I ever check Otis? 6,732.16,
That includes installation.
includes installation.
I'll support.
We'll need a roll call on this.
Stewart,
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Audie,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Cronin.
Yes?
Okay.
And one last note, we do have.
Number one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that it?
Yep.
There was money budgeted in the equipment replacement line item for this, we knew it was coming.
What did you budget?
I think I only budgeted 5,000, but that was just a rough number. 5,600, somewhere around there. There's 15,000 in that line item, and there's other things we won't do.
Okay.
So there's money to cover it. You only see 15,000, but I know I only put down 5,600.
Okay. Moving on then. Michelle, the basic HRA agreement?
The last time we signed a business association agreement with Basic was when we first entered into the contract. The Basic is our third-party administrator for the Blue Cross for the employees. Remember, we went to them when we went to the HRA system. Oh, I'm sorry, it was the last time we signed this was 2010. They're just looking for a new one. So I just want the authority to sign it.
And
Michelle,
that
does this
authorizes
have,
them to make checks on our behalf.
Yeah.
does this have anything to do with the next agenda item, or are they
Um,
totally separate?
They're separate, they're separate.
So HRA does what again?
The employees, when they go to the doctors, they submit their bills to HRA. HRA is the one that administers the repayments back to them.
So it's almost like an FSA?
They're the HSA, HRA, they're all kind of the same,
Okay.
in the same family,
Okay.
so. And we've been doing this since 2008.
But it has nothing to do with whether
No.
they're taking out enough or
No.
any legal, it's just
No, we
authorize them to
deposit
submit.
money into the accounts, then what it authorizes them to do in a nutshell, I mean,
Just
probably 10
administer the checks
pages.
and actually get the money
Yeah.
refunded to the employee.
Okay.
So,
Mr. President, I'll resolve to authorize the clerk to sign the business association agreement between the village and Basic.
We have a second. Motion by Ballard, supported by Rollock. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Employee Blue Cross. This is your item?
no, it's not really my item, but I really
It's
didn't
your
have
item.
anybody else to put it on.
It's your item.
Do you want me to, you want to just go?
No, I'll just go.
Okay.
January 1st, our policy changed due to the Affordable Care Act. And we got charged with an additional co-insurance charge. And what I'm looking for is for the village to pay 80% of that like they do the other deductible, and the employees pay the 20%, which was agreed to in our contract. She can explain it to you a little better than I can, I guess.
You go ahead.
Because of the Affordable Care Act, Blue Cross changed our policy that we weren't told how they were changing it. Even our insurance guy didn't send us a new copy of the policy or any of that, it just changed
And we found out by happenstance.
by accident, because somebody's bill didn't get paid. So what it did is it added co-insurance. It still pays, it's kind of the same coverage, except after their deductible is met, now any approved charge the employee has to pay 20% of that charge, where before Blue Cross paid the whole thing. Now Blue Cross pays 80%, the employees have to pay 20%. As far as Public Act 152 goes, that you guys are only allowed to pay 80% of healthcare costs to the employees, you would still be compliant if you agreed to pay 80% of that 20% that they have to pay, and they pay the other 20% of the 20%. There is a maximum because there's a maximum out-of-pocket expense, so it's not like it's an unlimited, it could cost you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. There's a maximum out-of-pocket expense. So it's limited, I don't have the numbers in front of me. But their feeling is that the intent of the contract was that the village would cover 80% of their costs. And now their costs include a 20% co-insurance.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's what we think about
No,
that.
we're not.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna save the money we're gonna spend.
Yeah, we're gonna-
Can't pay the-
And it can be done the same way where it gets submitted to basic and they get reimbursed 80%. We would just,
We do
village
it
would have to
What-
make,
What has increased? Just doctor
The
calls?
added-
No, not
There's
doctor
another-
visits.
it's the co-insurance is all that's increased for the employees.
So the cost of the insurance has gone up?
No,
No.
not the premium cost. The premium cost
Think of
pretty
it this
much.
way, you have different buckets,
Two
okay?
different deductibles
And
is
they,
what it is.
we used to have a bucket that was your deductibles, okay? Then you have a bucket for, another bucket is what now on the table is co-insurance. So before, they would have to be responsible under the plan design to pay their deductibles, right?
Right.
Okay, well now, under the new plan design that Ed talked about, there's another bucket that they have to drop money in, and that's co-insurance. So for every approved claim, before, Blue Cross would pay 100%. Now they've got to put 20% into the bucket, Blue Cross puts 80% in.
And you want us to pay 80% of that 20%?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they're requesting.
Becky, how much is that roughly a year? Do you
Yeah,
think?
we don't do.
Family policies are $3,000 and a single's not $1,500.
Okay, but
Up
then
and
it would
beyond.
be 80% of that.
Well,
So,
like Vivian.
be $2,400 on a family, so right now that would be 2 people. And it would be $1,200 on the single, which is Ed. So if all of them met their deductible and went as far as that
But had a catastrophic.
maximum out of pocket, you're looking at what, $6,000 total?
But not necessarily.
Right, it's not a given,
No, it's not a given.
exactly. Because some people don't even meet their whole deductible.
Right, I
Right.
haven't met that yet.
So
Right,
that,
yeah.
that 80-20 doesn't even come into play until after the deductible is met. So, that's the maximum it could be if something happened and everybody used it.
It's a gamble that you take in any HRA or HS. I mean, you don't know. I mean, I would hope that my employees wouldn't have, or our employees wouldn't have an issue that maxed them out, because that means there's something seriously wrong. So, I mean, it's a gamble.
So what would we do, Joe? Would we have to rebate part of the co-insurance? We'd split it, basically? Would
We
we
would-
rebate the employees, or how do we?
Through the yes.
Through the
Okay.
HRA, or, HS,
R.
I'm even getting confused now.
So we'd be loading money into their account after the fact, or
They
before the
don't, they don't
fact?
have
No,
an
we
account.
said
The
they-
village
The
has
village
an account.
account.
Right, we would beef up the village's account so that we cover both.
They would have to submit their bill for that 20% and get reimbursed.
That's what I was asking.
Just like
80% of the 20%.
Just like they do right now.
Do we, are there any questions on this?
So that account still remains as village money though.
Oh, yes,
Correct.
yeah.
It's not-
Yeah, like an
it's
HSA,
Yeah.
an HSA, employers will give the money to their, it's a health
And
savings
if they don't
account.
meet their deductible,
They get it,
Yeah,
we don't do it.
but we don't do that. No, this is an HRA. This is
Yeah.
not.
Jeff, what does our account or our contract actually say? As far as healthcare, what is the contract? Because are we gonna have to amend our contracts then?
Well, I haven't worked on them in a couple of years, but I think what they normally said is we did identify a plan,
thank you.
but didn't we have language in there at one time that said?
It said Blue
the-
Cross, and we had to
Right,
change
and
that
then,
to.
but didn't we have something there that said the village could present a new plan if one became available? I thought there was
Right.
something
Yeah.
in there.
Yes.
Language in there about that.
But aren't we still compliant because we have so few employees?
You're not compliant, I mean, you're compliant
We're
as you
compliant.
stand.
Yeah,
Right.
You are
and we
compliant.
would be compliant doing this.
You would be compliant still doing 80% of the 20%. You wouldn't be compliant if you reimbursed the whole 20%. Of, you know, you reimburse that whole amount, you wouldn't be.
Yeah. We, you know, I mean, I'm just gonna add something here. This has been kind of a, I don't know what word to use, but it's been a, yeah, nightmare. We, you know, we've been going back and forth with our insurance agent. Unfortunately, we did not know. Mike would argue that, because he's, oh no, I told you. No, if you would have told me this back in December, I would have been on it, because I know the issue that it poses. We didn't know that something happened until somebody submitted a bill and it didn't get paid, and we couldn't figure out why it wouldn't get paid. So we've been back and forth with our insurance agent. We've asked them to give us comparable coverage. I mean, are there, you know, to compare apples to apples, and there's really no plans out there that aren't gonna cost you a lot more that would be apples to apples, in a nutshell. I mean, it's been a, do you guys wanna see that on that side, or don't you need to?
It just says in there that we're gonna provide health care. It doesn't say what co-insurance or deductibles are in the contract.
Not in the contract.
Not in the
No,
contract.
Because that's
not in
too
the contract.
specific.
That is.
You
approved
can't
it in
get
amend-
that
or in the-
specific, because insurance changes on it, well, you know, yeah, what am I telling you for,
I
so.
mean, that to me is what the big issue is, and I understand the intent of the contracts. You know, we wanted the employees to pay 20%, we were gonna pay 80 on various items.
But we had to, because
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
That's what we chose for
Right.
Public Act
But
142.
whatever changed in December or January, that's really where the issue lies, is why
Yes.
was that changed? One, without us or with us knowing, and two, why did it change anyway?
It
Same
changed,
for the whole country.
if you,
Not
yes,
just
if you
us.
talk to our insurance agent, it's because of the Affordable Health Care Act. And it is also because we have so few employees that are insured. If we were to have over 50, it may not have affected us like that.
What
We
Blue
have
Cross
4,
did-
don't we?
Yeah, what Blue
We
Cross
have
did
two right
is,
now, one's going back on.
the Affordable Care Act said that your policies have to cover certain things.
Yep.
There's no option, they have to cover certain things. Well, because those things actually would have increased the cost of the premium, what they did is they, not just Blue Cross, all healthcare companies did it, they put you in a plan closest dollar-wise and coverage-wise. So that they could have put us in another plan, probably identical to what they had with no co-insurance, but the premium would have been outrageous.
Yeah, it would have been.
So Blue
outrageous.
Cross automatically, I say Blue Cross generically, the healthcare companies automatically just switched your plan so that it fit what the Affordable Care Act required without raising your price too much.
Do we know how much that increase would have been?
We don't, because we couldn't get, and this is one reason it took us so long to
Yeah.
bring it to light, is we've been trying
Desperately.
horribly, pulling our hair out, trying to find a policy that I could have given you. I could have said, this is what it would have cost if we would have kept their policy identical to what it was. Our agent says that it doesn't
They don't
exist.
exist.
Maybe it doesn't exist because we only have the 3 people on.
Right.
Because they do exist in other companies. Everybody doesn't have co-insurance on their insurance. But he did send over another
Cost comparison.
another company's policy that didn't have co-insurance, very similar to what their policy was, except it used a network of doctors, which is another issue, but it was actually more expensive. It would have cost the village more, it's almost $1,000 more a month, so that would be $12,000 right there. And even if you take the, 80% of that, it's still more than if they all 3 were to max out on their out-of-pocket expense.
How much is in the budget, Joe, for this? Because I know we're already running a deficit starting in December. We're already using prior year funds.
We've never maxed out either
Okay.
the basic plan.
All right.
We started out with 8,000 or
9,000
9,000 in it to start out with. And then each budget year, we just kind of buffer it to keep it up at about that balance, and we've never
Never
depleted it.
And my other question, why haven't we looked at the MML plan
This is our MMO, this is, our agent is an MMO agent.
I know, but looking at maybe going into a multiple employee welfare plan or something a little different, where we could maybe get into a part of a larger pool.
We are in large.
Where, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we bid all this out here a while back.
Yeah.
But if we're a large pool, then why does it come down to our 3 employees?
That's a
You're
question
still,
for our
it's
agent.
still, you're still identified as to how many, but your little how many gets put in with this big pool.
It's kind of like
But
your
it's
car
still-
insurance, you're rated, I'm rated through a credit union, but my price is based on my family. But it's also based on my work with the credit union. It's a group within a group. So that's kind of the same way it works here.
I had actually called the MML to ask them something, and they told me just to talk directly to my agent. When it was a question that I wasn't really getting not straight, I don't wanna say an unstraight answer, it just, it was kind of going in circles for a while.
Do we, does anybody want to make a motion on this, or is that not what you're looking for?
Well, if we do make a motion, it's just gonna be to amend the HRA plan to include 20, how do we?
80% of their 20% co-insurance.
Yeah.
Co-insurance, not co-pay,
Yeah,
co-insurance.
and to me, co-insurance, that's confusing, because co-insurance to me always meant that
Get
my
one
husband has
policy
insurance and
I've
I
got
had
insurance.
insurance and my, you know,
Well, it means the same thing, 2 people are paying that cost.
Yeah.
And in
it's
this
the
case,
village
Blue Cross
and the employee,
So,
so.
So what is the pleasure of the council here?
Well, first of all, do we have a line item for the cost? A budget
It'll
line
go
item?
in with the basic,
And there's room in the budget without doing a budget amendment?
as long as nobody maxes out between
Yeah.
now and the end.
Well, I
The
mean,
only way that's gonna get used is if I use all my previous deductible on it. And then I'll get into that co-insurance. I've never made it that far.
Okay.
Dave may be pushing it.
Oh,
And I don't know about Andrew.
It does, you know, it might be used sometimes.
yeah, I mean, I hope it isn't, because that just means something.
We're gonna spend the roulette wheel and see what number comes up, basically. is what we're
Well,
gonna
it's all, I don't wanna say a risk, but it's all, I mean, it's all just dependent on, you know.
Averages,
do.
you can only average.
By contract, I mean, we did make them a promise that we were gonna pay 80% of their health care, so it's the right thing to do, but I'd like it if maybe we could look at some other cost containment options going forward.
We have tried, Gary.
and Harry, we
Also-
actually would have had we known about it
Yeah.
prior to, but it
No, we only
kind
got
of
one
blindsided
year.
us.
No, I realize you guys got blindsided by it, and then Dave just had an unpaid bill, and that's what brought it out.
Yeah,
I think we're, 1 year into the contract, a 3-year contract?
But the health insurance is different than,
We're
I
what?
know, but at least after that time,
oh,
you know, like at one time, we didn't, you know, it was more 100%. And
Right.
the employees now are paying more.
Right.
They didn't always pay in like they're paying now.
well,
Right.
they
So
had
those
to because of
things-
Public Act 152 and the route we took.
right.
And what, I mean, in the employees' favor, we've been subsidizing with the employees for years. You know, probably since 2006, that they started paying 10%, and the reason that they did that was because our rates had gone up considerably. So they came to the council and asked them to allow, you know, because they wanted to keep their coverage. And so we increased it from 10 to 15, and then it had to go to 20 if we went that route with Public Act 152, which we have done. So, I mean, they have been contributing, you know, all along, and it's, you know, it's, so, I mean, it isn't like they went, because a lot of communities with Public Act 152, when they went with 80-20, they got blindsided. These people were paying nothing, and then boom, they had to pay 20%. And that was, you know, that was a lot on some of the communities. Our employees, to their credit, have been, you know, trying to keep the costs and keeping the plans they like, and they've been contributing.
Mr. President, I will resolve to amend the HRA to pay the 80% of the 20% co-insurance.
Support. I'd like to have a roll call on this, please.
Is that correct motion? I
Yes.
just want to double check with
Yep.
Becca,
Yep.
no offense, Lyle.
No, that's okay, I wrote it down as she was saying it.
That was you, Steve? Yeah. Baylor?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Audie?
Yes.
Stern?
Yes.
Wolock?
Yes.
Conan?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any upcoming agenda items?
Want to award the construction engineering for Main Street project?
Word construction engineering for
East Main Street.
East Main Street project?
the East Main. Are there any other upcoming agenda items?
Oh, I'm sure there'll be, they're just deciding right now.
Hey, how about citizen comments? Do we have any citizen comments? Phil, you got, this is your chance, you can speak some more.
I'm good.
We do appreciate you
Tough act
coming
to
out,
follow.
though, we really do.
Thank you for having me.
We don't think we see enough of our reps, so we're glad to see you here.
Yeah.
Any other citizen comments? Okay, how about council comments?
Yes, Phil, tell Representative Miller to get on this Affordable Care Act. It's killing us.
Councilman Ballard, I did
Yes,
not
sir.
call on you.
That's quite all right, Mr. President, but I took that advantage.
Did you had
I
something?
too
Mike,
have-
Mike
I was
raised
raising my
his
hand.
hand in an orderly manner.
Just to clarify on the F&V contract, the maintenance agreement, because this is out of the minutes and this is one that we approved today, the maintenance agreement does not pay for the overtime related to the power outages and high flows. That comes out of, we're paying actual checks. Just want to be clear, I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression on it.
Okay, I'm sorry, say that again so I can get it in here. Doesn't pay for
The maintenance
overtime?
contract does not pay for
Overtime.
the additional billing related to high flows or alarms. We are paying that separately.
High flows and alarms?
Yep. And the second thing I think is for you, Trustee Audi. I had a resident complain about the bump out in front of the dollar store. It looks pretty bad. I drove by it and the weeds are like 3 feet tall. I don't know if anybody adopted that one, but at some point, if we don't adopt them, I would say give it to DPW and let them wipe it out, put grass in. Just my thought. Because it looks like, he said, you pull into the village and
That's one of the first.
all the other ones
I
look
see.
good, but one of them right there in front of Dollar Store, I know it's vacant.
Yeah,
and
the person that adopted it went out of
Yeah.
business. so-
I get that,
Yeah.
but it looks bad, It looked really
Plus,
bad.
Oh, there's some nice stuff in there.
And what is the
Wrapped
inches,
up in-
30 inches is supposed to be?
I don't know, but it's gotta be close.
Yeah, we gotta watch, some of that looks like it's over 30
Yeah,
inches.
I just wanted to pass it on to you, and I don't know.
Oh, it has to be retroactive to January 15th. Yeah, to amend the, you're right.
See, it wasn't right, Becky, remember I asked you if it was the right motion?
Yeah.
Why didn't you make it retroactive on that one bill?
To pay that bill for him.
Why?
He did.
He's gonna submit it again.
Oh, you can resubmit it. Yeah, just resubmit it after today. You're worried about the date on the bill though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're covered.
I don't know. I mean, well, we'll just have to tell Curtis that's,
Can we amend
So
it?
we had to do it with the chiropractor.
yeah,
Make it retroactive to the first of the year.
January 15th.
Well,
That's
is
the
that,
policy.
We have passed that part of the meeting.
No, you can take action on it if you feel you need to.
Do you feel we need to, Jeff?
Well, I don't know what they're gonna accept or reject, but
They'll accept the check.
I mean, I was gonna say,
Cash is better.
I don't think, what's the process, and Becky, he'll submit it to who?
It submits it to Basic, and Basic will process it. My fear is because the date of the service is back
Before.
in April, and we send them something saying amend our policy now to cover co-insurance, that they're going to say that was prior to
To the
the
amendment.
amendment.
Okay, you can, I don't know if you wanna amend it, what's already passed, or you can bring it back and reconsider it.
Can Lyle just say that he wants to add on retro?
No, that's, well, you can amend, you can say move to amend, the motion adopted for item 3D. As you, so move to amend the resolution adopted under a new business item 3D to make it retroactive to what date?
January 15th.
January 15th, 2014.
Mr.
So
Ballard?
we'll vote, if we get a second on that, if Lyle makes that, we get a second, we'll vote on the amendment, and if that passes, then we have to then adopt the resolution as amended, so we'll have,
Okay.
oh yeah, take that back, we've already adopted it. So, yeah, make that motion, and that should get us where we need to be.
Mr. President, I'll move that we,
No. I wrote it down.
Okay,
To
good.
amend the resolution adopted under new business 3D to make it retroactive back to January 15th, 2014.
Okay, motion by Ballard, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Clark. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Now we've got to go back.
No, we're good, because
Good.
we already
Yeah,
adopted it. If we
We're
had,
good?
Lyle, if it was on the floor, then we would have to vote twice.
Right.
It's already been adopted.
Are we
Okay.
still under?
You know, Sherry's gonna kill me for letting this going backwards on the agenda.
Okay, Marvin, good job.
Are we still on council time?
Plus, we started 3 minutes late.
Are we still there?
No, not, we're,
Concerts in the park on Wednesdays.
that's coming events. That's coming events. Is there any more council comment?
Good job tonight, Dave.
Oh, okay, that's good.
That's a good comment.
We'll take that. Okay, community events, start off, Harry.
Concert in the Park Wednesday.
Concert in the Park Wednesday. Are there any other community events? I believe we got the Burville 3-day event this weekend,
Do it.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Burville Lions. Any other events? Being no closed session, I guess I will adjourn this meeting. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Support. Motion by Harry Haughty, support by Mr. Ballard.
At 8:51?
And 8:51.
7:51.
7:51.
It feels like 8.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.
Good job, Dave.